What is up, guys? It is your boy Royal Mech, and hope you guys have been enjoying the beginning of the new year. So, today, being that EX5 Beast Animal Colosseum is on the way, I thought I'd do our first ever tier list on the channel. Um, this is a set I'm kind of excited for, primarily for my friends over more than me, because this gives all my friends their ability to play the decks they want to play again, and it just keeps more variety that we've been seeing since BT14. So we'll go over what we have here. Um, we won't. This will be trash, meaning there's no for me, meaning there's no way I see this even being compatible. Um, but anything else, 1.52, simple stuff. So Beast Coliseum definitely is buffing a lot of the animal type decks. So let's go into these, and we'll first start off with Alphamon. To start, I definitely think Alphamon is tier 2. Now, he did get the replacement for the Doru Gray, but outside of that, deck's still strong. It just hasn't produced results like people were really hoping. Still is a massive one-turn killer if it's allowed, but outside of that, it's not going anywhere. And this ban list is going to be before this tier list is going to be before the ban list takes effect. So what we would see at Nats, since everything here will not be affected by ban list till after Nats anyway. So this is going to take effect as if this is Nats. So tier 2, I see fine. Um, let's go into Jellymon. It's not really doing anything. The pilot preferably will take this to the next level, but overall, not really good. Next, we have Vaccine, Yellow Vaccine. I'm actually going to put this in 1.5. This deck is incredibly strong for what it can do, and especially against decks that are virus type, this deck just runs over them because it has so many pieces like the Patamon for free Evo, the their one cost hit potential discovered, and they just get to go off. So there's literally nothing more I can say. It's just that the decks coming out in Animal Coliseum are slightly faster, and their board is built wider than this can keep control of. But still strong. Vaccine's going to be good for a good while, even into BT15. So we'll just leave it at that. Next up, we do have Anubismon, and we're just going to go ahead and put that up top as one of the best decks in format for this EX5. Good spawning, easily recurring its best units. There's not much more you can ask for in a deck. There's a reason this was hit. This and Apocalypse were in the same boat, but Apocalypse doesn't come out till 15, so there's nothing to worry about. But speaking of nothing to worry about, we're just going to skip a little bit, and I'm just going to go ahead and put Metal Garurumon X up in here. The X line is just nuts from Animal Coliseum for Garurumon. So we're just gonna put that up here too. A lot of decks that can use the Garurumon line for all of their abilities, they're just really good. Um, if your deck uses that engine, you're better off just seeing it at the top tables anyway. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We got Armor Rush. I will definitely put that in tier 2. It definitely can get some wins. Um, Consistently, though, no. So we'll put it in Rogue. No, we'll leave it in top. It's like bottom tier 2 because there are some decks that are better. Um, but it still can do something. Just like with Alphamon, both are strong, but what's around them makes them slightly weaker. But this is definitely stronger than Jellymon. Hunters, we're gonna put this in 1.5. Hunters is still doing numbers, and let me do this. Let's zoom it in, guys. There we go. That's better. Um, so Hunters is still doing numbers. It's still a very consistent deck. People have no problems with seeing it easily. Superior Remote just hitting off the back end can go into a very good Quartzmon. No issues there. It's just stable. Um, Bargra Army, we're just gonna put that in the trash bin. There was hope, couldn't couldn't really keep up. We will definitely play Beelzemon in tier 2 and Belphamon in tier 2 as well. They are purple decks, but these two decks, even with the support of the Groom Online, Belphamon doesn't do good. Neither does Beelzemon, and Beelzemon is really good. It's just not up there in meta. 1.5 easily gets to put in Black War, and since we're talking about War Gray, let's just go ahead and add. Where is he? He is on here. There it is. We'll also go ahead and put into the 1.5 with the vaccine version of War Gray and Black War Toolbox anyway. Um, Both these decks are worthy of 1.5. I actually will put Vaccine War Gray in tier 2. The able to one shot is really, really good. It's on the precipice of a 1.5, but if it misses its pieces, it definitely will falter. Black War, there's not much more you can say. Being a strong tower that forces your opponent just to replan their attack base, it's just there. Another deck I would actually put in 1.5, um, but it's like real low 1.5 is Rosemon right now. The deck is good. It's really good, but decks are still faster than it on the overall. It's just like with Wargray that if everything goes right, you're guaranteed to win with these two decks. But if things go wrong, you're just stuck. There's nothing really you can do. The Palmon definitely helped buff this deck up, but it's still in that iffy spot. Another deck I will actually put in here in tier 2 as one of the big threes of tier 2 in my opinion is the Blue Flare. Now, overall, someone will look at me and say, "You're crazy. That's a rogue. It's not worth it." Blue Flare is incredibly strong, especially with the double tamer, because now it has access. It had access to pulling from the trash to create their Digicrosses. The ability it has to stun its opponents, pull from sources, jamming, rushing. It could take use of the Zudamon Ace. It's just there. A lot of blue decks have that Zudamon Ace and that Gomamon, so this just gets to sit pretty. Um, Next up, Commandramon. No, sorry, not Commandramon. We're going to be talking about Machine Dramon. This is tier 2. Uh, Definitely closer on this end than near the bottom. This deck, especially with the support it got from the starter deck, is amazing. This deck is just control a la carte, and BT15 will make this worse. But right now, I definitely see it as tier 2. If you have the right pilot behind it, it's going to do wonders, especially if you see everything. If you don't, you don't. But it's really good. Alright, Digipolice slash D Brigade. I will definitely put this in the 1.5 tier. This deck, from just the Digipolice support, has gotten up there. It's spawned so many units like nobody's business, and it's just nuts. You can have a board about 10 Digimon on board, and they just get to do what they want, and it's just powerful. And then you can one swarm good versions of protections. Your hand doesn't really fizzle, and being able to use the trash almost like a second hand is just really good. Now, and one of my friends are about to be mad at me for this, but Dark Knight, and we can kind of agree on this together. Dark Knight is Rogue, straight Rogue. We would hope it's better, but it's just Rogue. It's it's strong now. That can pull from the trash to do its digicrossing, but it's still Rogue. Strong Digivolve, but overall, it's not going anywhere. It's more of the pilot turning it into 2 or 1.5. Next up, Creepermon. This is trash. People play it, but it's not really. It doesn't really do anything. It's kind of sad. Rogue, definitely for Diabora, and it's over Jelly. It's just Diaboromon. The ace helps. I wish the ace was black and not a white card, to better be used so you can search it easier, but it's not. And so it takes its hit. And Goromon, another tier 2. These are two of the Ghost Game trio so far. These two were the worst, are the worst two decks out of that. Um, Sadly, it just has to do what it gotta do. Dorbikmon, I will definitely put up here in tier 2. Um, Dorbikmon is just really, really fun. If it goes off, it goes off. It's primarily just Greymon and then Surprise. I will definitely say it's better than. Honestly, I can't even lie about that. I can't even put that there. It's gonna go in Rogue. I can't even put Dorbik in tier 2. It's good, but if that one shot doesn't do well, it's over. Tier 2, another tier 2 that's on the low end, I will definitely say Leopardmon and its X line, especially now. The easier spawning into your 4 is your 5, and then getting the Leopardmon into Leopard X, and then Leopard X or Leopardmon into Leopard mode is just crazy and really, really strong. And the board wide blockers, and it's just good, especially because it's for the beast end and not the plants. So giving the beast boys something to work on is actually pretty cool. Gallopmon. We could have wished, but it's sadly in the pool of trash. It's an okay deck. I wouldn't even. I can't even put it in Rogue though, but it is definitely better than these bottom two. But we can't put him even in Rogue because the Rogue decks here, which they like, just run over him. If only he had had some form of protection, we would have been in a better place. Next up is what's this one? Um. Oh, this is teddy bears. Um, teddy boys. This can go in the trash tier too. Um, it just is coming out, so it doesn't have a lot to really work on, but it's still there. Lugamon, another good one, definitely in 1.5. Um, only reason it's not higher is because it can't get through these two. And we definitely are know we're going to see Anubis and Wargray at Nat. If it wasn't for those, it definitely would be up here. No, it's still definitely better. So it goes up here. These three are like the biggest head hunters. I don't see anything wrong if you were to take any of these two regionals. You would be perfectly fine. Next up, we got the Devas and the Sovereign deck. Um, it's just another one of those big spams. I would put this in tier two. Ooh, excuse me. I would definitely put this in tier two. It's not a bad deck. Definitely put it over here about this point. It's not as bad as these in Rogue, but it's not beating anything further on this top end. Not at all. Uh, Dark Knight. Next is Dark Knight Twilight. Twilight Blue Flare. We'll put it in Rogue. It works some of the time, not all the time. Just like with Jessmon, but I will definitely put Jessmon above Jellymon and the other three decks. Jessmon's still good. It gets its wins when it can, but overall you can't completely trust it like you can the other ones in tier two to help get you by. Turtle. Mm, that's another rogue deck. Let's do this because that's kind of better. Blue Turtle, it's okay, but it's not as loyal as you would hope. Just like with Leomon, you would hope it would do better, but not by much. The new purple deck to introduce Leviamon. This is definitely a tier two, more like tier 1.5, and I will put it closer near the top. I've seen this deck in action, and it is just crazy. Its board control is really strong, and being able to get your six back to the board for almost nothing is just amazing. And so it's definitely sitting pretty here in tier 1.5. And then it gets its X antibody in 15, so that just makes it worse. Um, we can definitely put in tier 2 around here, Mastamon. Um, there's really no downside to Mastamon. She's just good. She's just good. Purple, yellow, always good. Some of the pieces in it are good in other decks too. It got use of the Patamon too, so it's definitely stronger now. Um, this deck is just garbage. Um, Nervamon, we'll put you in Rogue because no one really sees you played. We'll put you in the 1.5 Mirage Gal. The trainings along with the Gomamon just make you so much more of a threat. You're able to just come back, get that free memory, and do all your crazy. This yellow deck is actually not good. So not good, I don't even remember what it was. Alright. Another deck we should talk about, Approximon. This is actually an okay deck. Um, I will definitely put it in tier 2 around here because it keeps its board presence kind of slow, gets there kind of slow, but once it's there, once the board for Gamamon is set, you're kind of stuck because a second Gamma's coming up after you've just got rid of the first one. And it just keeps teetering off until no questions are asked. And then it gets the Approximon, then you're just like stuck. And all of that happened in turns, and if you can't touch it, you can't touch it. Now we will also, I'm gonna put this in 1.5. Red Hybrid is been coming back, and I'm gonna put it about here. Red Hybrid has definitely been coming back in format, and there's not much you can ask for. This deck is been shining um, since early mid part of BT14 meta. People have been bringing it back, especially with the Ukamon and the Louise. Those have definitely helped this deck come back as well, and it is pressuring. We're also going to put Rosemon in, up on tier 2. We're going to put it right there with. We're going to put this up here with our other green boy. They're both incredibly strong. Both get full access to quartz. Rosemon gets an X line next set too, so she's just getting better on her own. Plants are just going off. We will put Shine Gray on tier 2. It's still strong, but it's not producing like it used to. Hitting the Geo Grade of 1 definitely slowed this deck down, and so it really is more of a tier 2 area now. It can still win games. At my locals, people are playing this. It's still winning games, especially with the help of the vaccine packages. So it can still win games, but it's just not there anymore. Kentorismon, that's a rogue deck. I'll definitely put it over Jessamon, closer to Leo. Um, let's see. Actually, it's this way. Let's fix this. More like this. Because Leo, Centaurus is still a yellow deck. Yellow is strong. It just, the certain builds don't really produce well. Um, Grace Nova. This is actually, in my opinion, somewhere around here. It is very stable, but it does have its issues because if you don't see your pieces correctly, it does not matter what is going on with you in your plays. You don't If you don't get the Jogris and the Grace Nova, you are definitely going to be hurting. I know that can be said by a lot of decks, but more so there. Um, Vmon, Vmon, it's like Armor Rush. They're okay. They're not doing a lot. Maybe next set once they get the rest of their support. But as of right now, they're not really doing a lot. Um, Shoutmon. This is definitely one of the stronger road decks. Let's see. We will also, then we also have Royal Knights, which goes right to about there. And then good stuff blue. This is a tier 2 deck. It's definitely good. It's just not. I'd also put Rookie Rush in here, but we'll put this closer to the top too, because good stuff blue is pretty much blue hybrid now. And with all the aces, it just allows you to do so much, and then they're pretty much punished for whatever goes on. And it it's just like that. There's not really much to say. Um, it's a blue, and when you're playing good stuff blue, you don't have to worry about any of the up in the air. Sorry guys, this is actually for me. You don't have to worry about any of the shaky tight slot situation, because all you're working on is good stuff and blue hybrids. So this is actually where I would stick the my tier list for this. If you guys think something should have been moved in another location, definitely speak out about it in the comments. You guys have definitely been more active there now, and I greatly appreciate it. I do hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching, and please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I know I announced a couple days, a couple videos that we would start streaming on the weekend. Um, this week, last weekend was supposed to be the first stream. That's got to get pushed back to not this Saturday, but next Saturday will be our next stream, and then we'll be on and popping, and then get everything started moving into February with all of our new activities running and going. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions you want to ask of me, or you have a cards you want to ask my opinion on, put it in the comments as well. I'll answer it in the short for you. And I will see you guys later. You have a great night. Peace.